What's up, guys? Jordan McAbee here, fantasyracingonline.com, and today we're going to talk about Sonoma and the Toyota Mart 350 when it comes to DraftKings and FanDuel a little bit. Sonoma, good old, what I like to call a normal road course race. So, as I mentioned, if you didn't watch my video from the other night, Sonoma I consider a normal road course race. Meaning, before NASCAR started these rovals and other gimmicks like that, it was Sonoma, Watkins Glen. These were the two main road course races, and there's been a clear difference, or not a clear difference, but a bit of a difference on who's fastest on these tracks. Now, the thing with Sonoma and Watkins Glen, we haven't raced at either of them since 2019, and we had Circuit of the Americas this year, which was a complete shit show of a race. I'm not even taking that race data into consideration. I'll be completely honest with you. That was just a joke of a race. Everything was skewed in that race. I'm not even looking at it this week. As far as the Daytona Road Course, I would highly recommend, if you're doing any research this week, to go back and watch up until it turned into a shit show. Before the wreck started happening, when Chase Elliott was dominating like Chase Elliott does. That's where you're going to get your good amount of data and worthwhile numbers. Well, not numbers, but just who was strong from that race. Last year we had, did we have 3 road course races last year, I want to say? Let's take a look. So, again, if you missed my video earlier this week, I really like this driveraverages.com for quick information as far as finishes, driver rating, where they start, laps led, stuff like that. What I really like about this, though, when we come to road course races, this is the homepage. You come over here to averages by track type, click that, and then you can click road course. And then this... One thing about this site, it's pretty slow. It will give you then an overview of the last, since February 2018. So the last 10 races on road courses. And then you can come into each driver and look at actually how they've done. So Chase Elliott, he's won 5 of the last 6. Solid. But it gives you... It's a real quick reference if you're looking for quick stats. Obviously, this isn't going to give you like the loop data of green flag speed or fastest laps or average running position, which are 3 things that I, also look at. But it gives you a quick reference, who typically does better, where they started, stuff like that. So last year we had Charlotte Roval, Daytona Road Course, and that was it. I thought we had more than that. Anyway, I don't know where my brain's at on that. But anyway, it's nice to get back to normal road course conditions. Road course tracks. These expect this thing to go green for the most part. So stages are broken down into 20-20-50 laps. So the reason they did that, let me get 100% sure on that. 20-20-50. So the reason they did that is a fuel run here is about 30, mid-30s laps. They didn't want teams to be able to stretch it on fuel in that last run and make it impossibly one stop. So that's why they made it 50 laps. They're going to have to pit in that final stage. The first stage, 20 laps, there's going to be a competition caution on lap 10. So really there's only going to be 15 to 17 green flag laps in that first stage, depending on how long the caution is. So that's I could see a lot of teams pitting at the competition caution and then going all the way through the end of stage 2. A lot of times these road course races come down to strategy and fuel mileage, and that sucks. But for the most part, they run green and they're quite predictable as far as finishing order. Track position is huge at them. Obviously, very good road course racers will be able to get closer to the front. But let's take a look at starting lineup real quick. Got Larson on the pole, Chase Elliott second, Byron, Hamlin, Kyle Busch rounding out the top 5. Austin Dillon, who sucks at road course races, starting 6th. Alex Bowman 7th, Kevin Harvick 8th, Brad Keselowski 9th, Tyler Reddick 10th. Notable starting a little bit further back, Martin Truex Jr., he's starting 19th. Christopher Bell, who won the Daytona road course, is starting 20th. Michael McDowell, always a solid road course racer, starting 21st. Chase Briscoe, who I really like this week, starting 25th. Really chalk plays, Ross Chastain starting 29th and Kurt Busch starting 30th. We got Ben Rhodes in that 77 car that Justin Haley's typically in. Other than that, typical starting lineup, guys that are higher than normal. Bubba Wallace, 15th. Corey LaJoy, 22nd. You could even throw Eric Jones in there in 18th. Obviously, this lineup was set by the formula that NASCAR has. As far as predicted finishing order, my algorithm has Chase Elliott number 1 by a good margin. No surprise there, especially with how important track position is. He's starting 2nd. He's won. All he does is win at these road course races, even when he shouldn't, like at Circuit of the Americas. Truex 2nd, even though he starts 20th. Like I said, track position is so important here, and that's why Elliott has a significant gap in this power index down to Truex. If Truex started higher, I'm sure he'd be a lot closer in this algorithm predicted finishing order than he is. But still, he's the second best road course racer. It will be interesting to see how he deals with that traffic starting mid-pack on Sunday, but should still, he's good enough to get to second and compete for the win. Kyle Busch projected to finish 3rd. I could definitely see that happening. I actually bet him this week 9-1. So if you believe the Jordan jinx, keep that in mind. I will say that the last Jordan jinx was Bowman at Dover, and he won. So, and before that, it was Byron the race before, and he finished top 5. So maybe the Jordan jinx is on the up and up, and Kyle Busch will have a good race. I hope so. I think he's going to be really strong here on Sunday. Algorithm has Hamlin projected to finish 4th, Byron 5th, Larson 6th. I think it undervalues Larson a little bit, but it's really close between all these guys here. Bowman projected 7th, Kevin Harvick 8th, Logano 9th, and Christopher Bell 10th. A couple notables. I wrote about Chris Buescher and Eric Jones in my article. Algorithm loves Chris Buescher. My projections love Chris Buescher. Same with Eric Jones. Eric Jones is a really strong road course racer, and we definitely saw that when he was in Gibbs equipment. That's one thing you'll notice here at Sonoma is Gibbs has had a very significant advantage over the field at Sonoma. Will that continue this weekend? Probably. Obviously, Hendrick is going to be strong, but Gibbs definitely has an advantage for sure. So, but then Jones, he's been solid on road course races this season. Chris Buescher 13th, Michael McDowell 17th. Chase Briscoe, I think he's better than 20th, but that's a pretty safe projection for him finishing 20th. And yeah. So let's go back before we get into just going through the drivers. Let's just quickly look at, like I said, I'm completely throwing Circuit of the Americas out. I don't care about it. It was in the rain. It was a shit show. It was stopped early. No, I don't care about it. This week, we don't have the guys like AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, Kaz Grala, racing. We don't have those really, really strong road course racers. So it's going to come down to, the guys, the typical guys. So let's go take a look at, this is green flag speed. So I'm really looking at, as far as this season goes, I'm looking at the Daytona road course Busch Clash race, which only had 21 drivers in it. As well as the actual race at the Daytona road course. Both these races were at the Daytona road course. Busch Clash, 21 drivers. Kyle Busch won it. Him, Truex, and Hamlin had the best green flag speed. Joe Gibbs Racing, 1, 2, 3. Tyler Reddick was very strong. He said he worked this after Circuit of the Americas. He said he worked very hard on his road course skills over the offseason, and it seemed to pay off so far this year. William Byron, who finished 5th, he had the 5th best green flag speed. So look at fastest laps from that race. It was pretty even. Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney at top 6, or with 6 each. Kyle Busch with 3, Chase Elliott 2. Green flag speed in the actual Daytona road course race, Christopher Bell was number one. He won the race. And then Truex, and then Hamlin. Again, Gibbs, 1, 2, 3. Joey Logano, fourth best. Chase Elliott, fifth best. Chase probably had the best car that race. He led the most laps. If things wouldn't have got crazy, he probably would have won. But, hey, that's what happens. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, they had issues, finished in the 30s, but still were strong on green flag speed. Fastest laps in that Daytona road course race, Chase Elliott with the most at 19. Christopher Bell had 12, and then Truex had 8. Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott, they're the best guys on road courses. There's no denying that. Let's take a look at, let's just take a look quick at recent Sonoma races. So going back, I'm just looking at laps led just to kind of show how important track position is here. So you look at the most laps led in 2019. William Byron started on the outside pole. He led 21 laps. Before Truex took over, led 59 laps and won the race. Top 8 starting position were all of the lap leaders in that race. You go to 2018, Martin Truex Jr. led the most laps, starting second. He led 62. Kevin Harvick starting 6th, led 35. Again, top 8 starting positions, top 6. You go back to 2017, Truex had an engine problem, so that kind of jumbled things all up. He started 30, led 25 laps, but he did have that engine issue. Kevin Harvick ended up leading 24 laps, Keselowski 17 laps, Johnson 12 laps. All those guys started outside the top 10. I wouldn't say this is by no means normal. This is the outlier race as far as who dominated and who got the laps led. I think there was a ton of strategy in this race, if I remember right, which would explain those, spread out lap leaders. And then in 2016, Carl Edwards on the pole led 24 laps. Denny Hamlin finished second, led the most at 33, starting 6th. Then Tony Stewart won. That's when, if you remember that race, if you don't, go back and watch the end on YouTube. But that's when Hamlin just completely pulled a Denny Hamlin and choked at the end. Like, he just completely whiffed on the last corner and gave the race to Tony Stewart. But yeah, Allmendinger also led 20 laps in that race. He started second. But 4 lap leaders there, all of them started top 10. It's definitely, I think, what we're going to see on Sunday at Sonoma if Chase Elliott doesn't lead the most. So let's get right into it. Martin Truex Jr., highest priced driver on DraftKings, $10,900. Let me pull up FanDuel just so I have a quick reference. So, I don't care about that. So Martin Truex Jr. is $10,900 on DraftKings. He is $14,000 on FanDuel. And I think the winning lineups are going to come down to probably how much Martin Truex Jr. dominate. He's going to be chalk this week. He is the second best road course racer, and he's starting 19th in a very short race, which means finishing position and place differential come into play more than usual, I guess, is the best way to put that. That's how I view it. Like, there's not many dominator points this week. So, sorry, I'm just getting situated here. So Martin Truex Jr. starting 19th. He should be a top 5 car at least. One thing, and if you don't follow RotoDoc on Twitter, do so. It's at RotoDoc. He made a very good point this week that especially got me thinking, looking at Truex's history here at Sonoma. When he doesn't start up front, he typically doesn't do well. 15th in 2014, didn't finish well here in 2015. One thing, though, he started 14th in 2013, and he ended up winning and leading 51 laps. But I will say this season, I don't think we're seeing the typical speed out of Truex on road courses that we're kind of used to. I think he's lost just a little. Like, It's Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and then a huge gap to everybody else. I think Truex has just lost a little bit. I think both Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. have lost just a little bit of speed compared to everybody else in the field. If you read my article with my projections, I'm not going to throw out projections in this video. If you want to see them, go to the article, fantasyracingonline.com. Truex, if he doesn't get, so here's my theory with DraftKings. I hate paying up for place differential. I do not like it, especially when the guy is going to be chalk, like Truex should be this weekend. That's just how my contrarian brain works. I'd rather take the risk of pivoting to someone else and hoping that the high-priced guy doesn't perform as expected. Obviously, that can bite you, but in my article, I did, Kyle Busch, comparing like a Truex Kyle Busch. So Kyle Busch starts 15th, Martin Truex Jr. starts 19th. If Martin Truex Jr. finishes 15th or finishes 5th and has no Dominator points, which obviously is a little bit of a stretch, and Kyle Busch finishes 2nd and has 10 Dominator points, Kyle Busch is going to outscore him, and he's going to be $600 less. So my tournament write-up this week, number one in my article, is being underweight on Truex in tournaments. He's obviously a no-brainer cash play, but I can definitely see being underweight on him and fading him entirely in single-entry contests. Chase Elliott, he starts 2nd. It's all going to come down to how good Kyle Larson is. So Kyle Larson was always a very good qualifier at road course races. It never really sustained. He always fell off. And now we're obviously, look at these starting positions. 3 poles, all of them at Sonoma. Total laps led, highest laps led with his 3 poles was 9 in 2017. Obviously, he was in a Ganassi car. You have to take that into account, but still. 3 second place starts as well. A 3rd place start. The guy constantly starts up front at road course races. The one time he had a good race was the Charlotte Roval here in 2018. He still finished 25th, but he led 47 laps. You have to wonder how good Kyle Larson is going to be. He's in a Hendrick car now. He's obviously the fastest car this season. But when it comes to Chase Elliott, his Dominator points are really going to depend on how good Kyle Larson is. Because if Kyle Larson leads the most laps this race, Chase Elliott's value comes down a good chunk because he starts 2nd. If he's running 2nd all race, yeah, it's a great race for that 9 team, but he's not picking up the points for laps led or the points for fastest laps in DraftKings. And at a $10,500 salary, him finishing 2nd without a significant number of Dominator points, or even winning without a significant amount of Dominator points, is going to take a lot for him to be in the optimal lineup. Do I still think that he can? Yes, I do. It's Chase Elliott. I will note that Sonoma isn't his best track, but it's so difficult to, not roll with Chase Elliott. He is just so good at these road course races. So if we go into Sonoma specifically for Chase, it's weird to have to go down even a little bit on the page. 3 laps led in his career here, a 4th place finish, an 8th place finish, and then 2 bad finishes. He blew that engine in 2019. So that number's a little bit off, that 37th. But, will he dominate? He's definitely going to be a popular pick, at road course races. He always is. But I can make a case against him just because of his track record here at Sonoma. Plus the salary at both in DraftKings and FanDuel is hard to it's hard to justify depending on how you build your lineup. So Chase Elliott, he's 10,500 on DraftKings, 14,500 on FanDuel. I like True. I also like being underweight on Elliott. I like some of the other guys. Now this is dumb. It's probably not going to work out, but hey, I've made dumb decisions in the past in DraftKings, and it's won me a ton of money. So that's where I'm at on it. We'll see how it works out. I'm still going to obviously have exposure to both. It's a road course, and it's Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott. Kyle Busch starting 5th, 10,300 on DraftKings. He is 13,000 on FanDuel. I really like him this weekend. I really like Kyle Busch this weekend. I think he can put up dominator points, and I think he can win this race. Like I said, I bet him. The recent numbers with Kyle Busch are very skewed because he was not good on the Rovals. 37th, 37th, 30th, 35th. He finally finished 10th at Circuit of the Americas, which, like I said, that race was a shit show. But you look at his numbers here at Sonoma, top 7 in the last 5 starts. He had a win back in 2015. I just really like how Kyle Busch is running this weekend. I almost wrote him up as a tournament play in my article. I didn't, but I definitely like him. I think he's gonna be strong here on Sunday. I think he can win. I think he's a great pivot off of Truex and Elliott. Really like Kyle Busch this weekend, and definitely he's got that Gibbs car. Gibbs is so good at Sonoma. Joey Logano, 13th on the starting grid. He is 10,100 on DraftKings. He is 11,000 on FanDuel. You have to like Logano. He had a chance to win. I think he's one of those guys that nobody really talks about, but he's really good at road course races. He finished 3rd and 2nd this year in the 2 road course races. He's led 24 total laps between those 2. He finished 3rd at the Busch Clash, 2nd at Charlotte Roval last fall. Here at Sonoma, Logano, not great recently, but he does have a couple top 5s. 2015, 2016, he finished top 5. My algorithm has him projected to finish 9th. I think he could finish about 5th or 6th is where I'd put him. Only downside is not a lot of dominator potential. He's probably not going to get too many fastest laps. He's probably not going to lead any laps. But as far as a differentiator and a place differential play, he starts 13th. I like him there. He's going to be low owned at 10,100. So definitely like him as a pivot. Don't love him, but I like being overweight on Logano for sure. Denny Hamlin, he starts 4th. He's 9,900 on DraftKings. He is 12,000 on FanDuel. I think honestly, if Chase Elliott, the big if Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, those guys aren't the ones leading early, which they probably are, then it's going to come down to Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch, which one. So Denny Hamlin, we all know he's a very strong road course racer. Hasn't won at one since 2016, but he's capable. Top 5 in, look at this. Going back to the last 7 real races at road course races, he has 4 top 5s in the last 7 road course races, including 5th at Sonoma, 3rd at Watkins Glen in 2019. I think he definitely has top 5 upside potential this week. He's starting 4th though, and it'll come down to what kind of dominator points Hamlin puts up. I don't think it'll be so we got Larson up there, we got Elliott up there, we got Kyle Busch up there, and Byron. So as far as I'm concerned, Hamlin's probably either 3rd, probably 4th on that list of most likely dominators. So definitely could see having Hamlin exposure. I just don't love it. I don't see him dominating this race. So starting 4th, he's going to need to get those dominator points, especially at $9,900. So Hamlin definitely a strong play, but as far as finishing position, I just don't see the dominator upside to make it work. Kyle Larson starting on the pole. This is the big question. What's he going to do? We all know how fast that car's been this year. We all know how much he's struggled on road course races in his career at Ganassi. Can he lead the laps this year to make it worth it? I would rather go a different route. I'd probably rather go Byron, honestly. If I was going in this range, I'm probably going to go Byron. Just because he starts 3rd, he's not on the pole. I mean, Chase Elliott, you have to think that Larson isn't going to lead many laps with Chase Elliott starting 2nd. I unless I start to, that I'm recording this on Friday afternoon, unless I see some sort of data that pushes me the other way, it's just really hard for me to think that Larson leads a ton of laps in this race. I do think he'll finish top 5. He has a definite top 5 upside. It's the number of dominator points, and I'm not sure that he gets enough to pay off. It's just so hard taking the pole sitter at any track for DFS. He's 12,500 on FanDuel. I definitely don't like him on FanDuel. William Byron, he starts third. Definitely a play. Byron, he could be one of those guys that comes out and leads a bunch of laps, kind of out of nowhere. On Sunday, 3 times in his career at a road course, he's led 20 or more laps. Only one of those, the Charlotte Roval race in 2019, did he start on the pole. The other ones he started 13th and 2nd. So, basically on that pole. But he starts third this week. I think he can get up there. Do I think it's a for sure thing? No. But like I said, going off of him or Larson, I think I'd rather roll the dice with William Byron. My algorithm really likes him. The algorithm has him projected to finish 5th. So definitely a play there. He is 11,500 on FanDuel. He's an okay play on FanDuel. Ryan Blaney starts 11th. He's $9,300 on DraftKings. He is $10,000 on FanDuel. There's definite upside here with Blaney. I think he's better on the real road course, the Rovals. But you look at Sonoma, 3rd last time we raced here, 9th in the Wood Brothers car in 2017. You look at it's hard. You look at recent races, 17th, 15th. He had that stretch here though. He won at the Charlotte Roval, 3rd at Sonoma, 5th at Watkins Glen. He was really good in 2019, 8th at Charlotte Roval in that year, and then 5th at Charlotte Roval last fall. I could definitely see, Blaney starting 11th. If he finishes top 5, give me him as a pivot off of Kurt Busch, or even if you're thinking Larson and Byron, Blaney finishes top 5. That's a solid pivot right there off of those guys. I know I wrote up Kevin Harvick in the article, but Blaney is definitely one to be considered as well. After last week, he's kind of dead to me, but hasn't had a top 5 finish since his win at Atlanta. Don't like that, but road course takes driver talent into consideration a lot more than other tracks. So, Blaney, I'd say, is definitely in play. Kurt Busch starting 30th. He's going to be pure chalk. He's a great road course racer. He is $9,100 on DraftKings, which is probably too low. And he is $8,500 on FanDuel, which is way too low. I'm trying to find a reason other than momentum to not like Kurt Busch. He should at least put up 10 to 15 place differential points. Here at Sonoma, he hasn't finished worse than 13th here since 2010. Overall recently, top 15 in pretty much every single road course race since 2012. I mean, the guy is just very good at road course races. He starts 30th. It's kind of one of those no-brainers. I could definitely see. I get the strategy of not taking him, especially if he has a typical race that we've seen out of that one team this week or this season. But at the same time, please remember that road course races, they do take driver talent more into consideration, and it's hard to argue Kurt Busch's talent on these road course races. He should be strong unless something crazy happens, and obviously a great place differential play. Kevin Harvick is next up. He starts 8th. He's $8,900 on DraftKings. Kevin Harvick is $10,500 on FanDuel. I love Kevin Harvick this weekend. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. I think he definitely has top 5 upside. I'm going to bet him to finish top 5. Harvick recently in road course races finished 6th at Daytona Road Course this year, third at the Roval in 2019, seventh at Watkins Glen, sixth at Sonoma, ninth at Charlotte Roval. Solid top 10. As far as here at Sonoma, Harvick, very strong. I like so Childers came in and matched up with Harvick in 2014 at Stewart-Haas. They led 23 laps that race, finished 20th. I forget what happened. But since then, 4th, 6th, 1st, 2nd, 6th. I really like Kevin Harvick this week. So I think he's going to be very low owned. Starting 8th, you got Kurt Busch right there at $200 more. But $8,900 to get Kevin Harvick for $8,900 at one, the 4-car, their speed is starting to get a little bit better. Like I've said all year, this is the time of year when teams catch up and teams slow down a little bit. Kevin Harvick, I like what Stewart-Haas is starting to accomplish. He's getting a little bit faster. He's $8,900 and he has top 5, top 3 upside. I'll take that any day of the week, especially if if he comes in at 12 to 15% owned. Give me that. I'll go 30, 40% Harvick. Love it. Alex Bowman, he starts 7th, $8,700 on DraftKings. He's $9,500 on FanDuel. He's a decent play. I think he could finish top 5. I don't think he has a lot of dominator upside. And most likely he's going to finish about 7th. He's going to finish about right where he starts. So I don't love Bowman by any means. You look at his recent road course race or finishes: 8th, 10th, 8th, 12th. He finished 2nd at the Roval in 2019, the Charlotte Roval. Here at Sonoma, he has a 9th place finish in 2018. That's kind of when he took over the 88 car. So definite Bowman top 7, top 8 potential. I don't see him getting much higher than that though. So I like it. I don't love the Bowman play. Brad Keselowski starting 9th. He's $8,500 on DraftKings. Keselowski is $9,200 on FanDuel. What's really weird is he's just not that great at road course races. 19th at Circuit of the Americas. Again, don't throw that in there. Daytona Road Course shit show number 1 this season. He finished 5th. Before that, 18th, 13th, 5th, 9th, 18th, 31st, 17th, 13th, 15th, 3rd and 3rd. So in his career, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 top 5, 0 wins, and 26 starts. So how many top 5s did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 top 5s and 26 starts. Okay. I still like Harvick in this range over Keselowski. I could see maybe my projections don't like Keselowski. My algorithm definitely doesn't like Keselowski. It has him 14th. But starting 9th, it could be the same thing as Harvick. I still like Harvick, but $400 is quite a difference. If Keselowski can get up there and finish top 5, he's obviously going to be a great value and a solid pivot off of the next guy, Christopher Bell. Starting 20th, he's $8,400 on DraftKings. He is $9,000 on FanDuel. And, I'm going to have a ton of Christopher Bell this week, just like I did at Circuit of the Americas, just like I did at Daytona Road Course. He's a very good road course racer. He's in a Gibbs car. For all we know, we don't really know. We didn't race at Sonoma last year, so we don't know if Gibbs still has their advantage. So I'm just assuming that they are. And if they do, he has top 5. Christopher Bell has top 5 upside. He's only priced $8,400 on DraftKings. He's only $9,000 on FanDuel. He's a no-brainer. Throw him in there, unless you want to be different. That's all. I wrote him up in cash. I'm gonna have a ton of him. If he wrecks, I'm gonna have a bad day. But I'm still, even these bad results, I'm still taking him. Christopher Bell is a very good road course racer, and I'm sticking to it. Matt DiBenedetto starts 17th. He's $8,200 on DraftKings. He's $7,500 on FanDuel. There's a lot of hype for Matt DiBenedetto this week because he was strong in 2019 on the road course races. He finished 4th, 6th, and 11th. That 4th was here at Sonoma. Don't forget, though, that was basically a Gibbs car. I think a lot of people are forgetting that. Yes, Matt DiBenedetto is talented. Yes, I like him. But he was basically in a Gibbs car for the only times that he's been strong on road course races. All I'm saying is don't overvalue those finishes simply based on that. He was in a very good car for the track type. But excuse me. But definitely an option starting 17th. He finished his top 10, and that salary is definitely going to pay off, especially on FanDuel at 7,500. If that in this range though, if I'm not going Christopher Bell, I'm probably going the next guy, Tyler Reddick. Starts 10th. He's $8,000 on DraftKings. Reddick is $8,300 on FanDuel. You don't see that often. He's a definite tournament play. This team is just running so well lately. Top 10 pretty much every week over the last, 3 months? 2 months? 9th, 8th, 12th, 7th, 7th, 20th at Richmond, and then 8th and 7th. So Reddick, and like I said earlier, after Circuit in the Americas, he said he really spent a lot of time trying to up his road course game. So I didn't write up Reddick in my DraftKings article, but if I could redo it, I would. I feel like a lot of people are going to be talking him up a little bit this weekend, though. But starting 10th, 8,000, he's a definite tournament play. Even could pair him with Christopher Bell. Starting 8,400 or starting 20th and at 8,400. Eric Almirola is up next. Where is he at? So last week, he had about an Eric Almirola race. He finished 22nd. Road course races, he hasn't had a top 10. His last top 10 was here at Sonoma in 2019. He also had a 8th place finish here in 2018. Definitely don't see Almirola being top 10 good this weekend, but he could be mid-teens, which obviously is going to get a pretty decent score for that $7,900. Almirola is $5,200 on FanDuel. So I haven't projected about a 20th place finish. I don't think that gets it done on either site, but if he does finish mid-teens, it could get him into the winning lineup, especially over there on FanDuel. But yeah, I don't love Almirola by any means. Just he's safe, but not great would be my best analysis of that. Ross Chastain starting 29th. He's $7,700 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, Chastain is 7,000. I think he's going to finish like his typical 18th. I know that at Circuit of the Americas, he finished top 5? He 4th, I think? Yeah, 4th. His other races, obviously, like everything before this year is in shit equipment, so he's still decent. 24th, 22nd, 27th. That's noteworthy. I just don't. Chastain is a definite cash play option. You need to have exposure to him in tournaments. I don't see him being top 10, but obviously if he's top 10, he's going to crush it. So you definitely need to have exposure there starting 29th. Those Ganassi cars should have decent speed this weekend. Michael McDowell starts 21st. I really like McDowell. I just don't know what his ownership is going to come in at. So he's projected in my algorithm to finish 17th. I think he'll be a little bit better than that. The only case I can make against Michael McDowell is he's not that great, or he hasn't been that great at Sonoma. So we pull up Sonoma specifically. When he was in that Levine, basically another Gibbs car, he finished 14th, which is obviously his best finish here so far. And 2 races with front row, 21st and 25th. Again, though, we haven't raced here since 2019. And since 2019 and since the Sonoma race of 2019. McDowell has finished 16th at Watkins Glen, 12th at the Roval at Charlotte, 10th at the Daytona Road Course in 2020. He had a bad race at the Charlotte Roval in 2020. Then he finished 8th at the Daytona Road Course this year and 7th at Circuit of the Americas this year, or last month. I really like McDowell this week. My projections do as well. I like a lot of guys in this 7,000 range, which is weird for me, but I think that's how I'm going to be building a lot of lineups is in this range. Cole Custer's another guy. I think he's going to be low owned, and I wrote him up, I believe, if I remember right. He's $7,500 on DraftKings. Custer is $6,700 on FanDuel. I think he can finish top 10. I really do. He starts 23rd. Doesn't have the history of McDowell, doesn't have the starting position of Almirola, Chastain, and doesn't have the hype of Buescher. I think that's why Custer gets so low owned this week, and that's why I like him. But he has shown a lot of potential in the road course races in his Cup career so far. Finished 9th at Charlotte Roval last year. He finished 13th at the Daytona Road Course this year. I think he's going to be strong. I could be wrong. I hate putting a lot of faith in Nicole Custer, but it's going to happen this weekend. I think he's a very strong play, and like I said, my projections really like him, and I wrote him up. So Austin Dillon, he starts 6th. He's $7,400 on DraftKings. He's $6,200 on FanDuel. He probably should have been $6,200 on DraftKings as well. Austin Dillon is not good at road course races. Look at this. He's going to be about a mid-teens driver. Even if he finishes top 10, even if he finishes 10th, which would be a career best road course finish for Austin Dillon, he's probably not going to make it into the winning lineup at $7,400. So I won't have any Austin Dillon this week. It's killed me before, probably last week. Didn't he make it into the optimal last week? I'm not going to have any. Chris Buescher, my projections really like Chris Buescher this week. He starts 12th, $7,200. Like I said, track position means a lot here at Sonoma. So he's $7,200 on DraftKings. Buescher is $7,300 on FanDuel. He's just such a strong road course racer. And I feel like a lot of people have taken notice now. Like Buescher has always been my plug-in for at road courses and at super speedways. So when he was with Front Row, he was awful because apparently their road course package just kind of sucks. But top 20 in every single race since then, since the start of 2017. That includes a 5th place at Daytona Road Course last year, an 11th at Daytona Road Course this year, and a 13th at Circuit of the Americas this year. So no, I really like Buescher this week, and my projections have him average projected finish at 12.5, and they still like him. So I think Buescher has top 10 potential, and I'm going to have a ton of Chris Buescher this week. So definitely a great play in my book. Eric Jones, I like him as a tournament play. You can go to my algorithm predicted finishing order article. I talk about Eric Jones and why I like him. My algorithm really likes him this week, and I definitely like him as a tournament play. Excuse me. He's at 7,000 on DraftKings. Jones is 6,000 on FanDuel. I think he can be a very solid, mid-teens finisher with top 12 upside. Does that get him into the optimal? Maybe, maybe not. But I definitely like Jones this week, especially because I think he's going to be pretty low owned. So definitely like him as an alternate play there. I will more than likely be overweight on Eric Jones this weekend. Chase Briscoe, absolutely love him. He's a great road course racer. He's got a strong car in that 14 car that Boyer used to run. I'm rolling with him in cash. He's at $6,900, nice on DraftKings, and Briscoe is $7,200 on FanDuel. I honestly think he has top 10 upside. So starting 25th, $6,900, top 10 upside. Give me that every single day of the week. Not much more to say there. Ryan Preece is next on the list. He starts a couple positions worse than Briscoe at 27th. He's $6,800, so you got a $100 discount there. Priest on FanDuel is $4,500. So his last 3 road course starts have ended in 15th, 9th, and 14th place finishes. Before that, he was 23rd and 21st. It's pretty solid for a guy like Ryan Priest, especially on FanDuel. I don't love him on DraftKings, but I think he's definitely an option, and you need to have exposure there. You know, instead of going like for me, instead of going super heavy on Briscoe, as much as I like him, I'm gonna need to move down to Priest once in a while. You know, I do think Priest has probably 18th to like 22nd upside. My projections have him at a 22nd place average finish this week. So, yeah, I think he's viable. I don't think he's a rock star pick. I don't think he makes it into the optimal, but he's safe and has upside. Bubba Wallace is going to be the ultimate test of is Gibbs equipment really that good? Because Bubba Wallace sucks at road course racing. He is awful. 10 races, has never finished better than 21st. So you can do math here. He starts 15th. Do I think he's a tournament play? Absolutely. I love Gibbs cars at Sonoma. Do I think he's a smart tournament play? No. Would I consider it? He's $4,500 on FanDuel, by the way. I would rather go the next guy, Suarez, over Bubba, but Bubba's going to be lower owned than Suarez, even more lower owned than Suarez. Both should be very low owned this week. So, yeah, I want to like Bubba. Everything in the universe is telling me not to, but he has potential. I'm not gonna sit here and write him up. I'm not gonna sit here and tout him as the play this week, but I think he can. I think he can make it into the optimal. Honestly, at 6,600, if he finishes 12th or better. Daniel Suarez, same thing. He was good on road courses when he was in a Gibbs car. No surprise there. One thing I really like though is this car isn't that bad. Ain't that bad. 16th at the Daytona road course this year. In that 99 car, you can completely throw last year's numbers for Suarez out. Finished 17th here at Sonoma in 2019 with Stuart Haas. Had top 5s at Watkins Glen in 2017 and 2018 when he was with Gibbs. I think he's a tournament play. It's like Bubba Wallace. They're both going to be low owned. I'm not going to have a lot of exposure, but I could see either of them getting into the optimal. Suarez is $6,400 on DraftKings. He's $6,500 on FanDuel. I'm not gonna have a ton, but it's an option. Ryan Newman, he starts 24th, so out of the cheap drivers, he starts the furthest back. So I think a lot of people are going to be on Ryan Newman this week. I just don't love the pick. Don't like it. He's not a great road course racer. So one top 10 in his last 13 real road course starts. That's all I need to know. Here at Sonoma, Newman 7th, 24th, 15th, 8th, 9th, 11th. He is not 2014 to 2016 Newman. It's not the same guy. So yeah, this could be where I'm completely wrong this week. Is Ryan Newman at $6,300? It could be staring me straight in the face, like, hey, this was a great cash play. I don't like it. I haven't projected to finish about 22nd. I see the upside. I see why I should probably have exposure, but I just don't. I don't think it's a slam dunk pick. And if he's going to be, I think, where do I have his projected ownership at? I have Newman's projected ownership at 26%. So I'd rather be at like 15 to 18 and hope he has a pretty normal Newman race. So I don't love it. I can see why he's going to be cashed just at that price. But I like this $7,000 range a lot this week. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he starts 14th. He is $6,100 on DraftKings. He's $5,500 on FanDuel. One of those guys, again, that's not good at road courses. He's about teens driver every single time. So, starting 14th, finishing 17th is about where he's going to be. At $6,100, it's worth having a little bit of exposure, but I don't like it. I don't see the upside necessary for him to make it in the optimal this week. Corey LaJoie starts 22nd. Let's pull up his road course numbers. He starts way too high for me to really like it. His best finish has been 20th at Circuit of the Americas, and we all know how that race went. So, other than that, best finish of 27th. So, nope. I like Corey LaJoie most races, but not this week. Everyone else, you're basically getting down to the back markers. We got Ben Rhodes in the 77 this week, Anthony Alfredo, James Davison, who's a very strong road course racer. I don't see the need of going down this far at all. And I can usually be swayed into a punt situation and throwing one of these guys on there. But which, by the way, that reminds me, I will be going live with Brandon Cruz on his YouTube channel on Sunday. We haven't locked down a time yet, but it'll probably be around the same time as we did for Dover. 10 a.m. to whenever, or somewhere around there, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon. I'll tweet out the official time once we get that locked down, and it'll be in my article as well. So be sure to check that out. It's kind of gets at least my final thoughts, anything that sways my mind between when I record this and Sunday, I talk about there. But as of now, I don't see the point in taking any punts down here. They're not. So this isn't Sonoma. It's probably going to go green for the vast majority of this race. And the way these punts end up working out is if we get a bunch of cautions and a bunch of wrecks, and that's just not going to happen. So I don't even see the point of taking, these punts, especially, Davison's the best option down here. He's a very good road course racer. He's in halfway decent equipment, probably less than halfway decent equipment. But he's $5,600. So, no. Scott Heckert's in that 78 car for BJ McLeod. $4,800 is a little bit more possible, to fit in a punt like that. Starts 35th. He should be about 31st, 32nd. If we have a bunch of wrecks, he could finish mid-20s, but just not see that happening. So, yeah, that's my take on punts this week. Let's quickly go over optimal lineups. So, according to my projections, the optimal lineup is Truex, Kurt Busch. This is a pure cash lineup. I mean, through and through. Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, Chris Buescher, and Chase Briscoe. Truex, Kurt Busch, Bell, Custer, Buescher, Briscoe. I really like this type of build. I like this base to work with. Start with this and start moving shit around. Like I said, I like being underweight on Truex. So if I want to jump off of Truex and go to Elliott, it gives me $500 to work with elsewhere. I could go off of Kurt Busch then and go to William Byron. If you didn't want to do that, come off of Chase Elliott, go to Kyle Busch. You could then go Larson. So you got Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, and Chris Buescher. And just start working around like that. But I really like, the projected top lineup the highest scoring lineup according to my projections this week is Truex, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, Cole Custer, Chris Buescher, and Chase Briscoe. And like I said, I really like working with that type of core and just kind of moving things around for tournaments and going that route. On the FanDuel side, my highest projected lineup is similar. We got Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, obviously, Christopher Bell, and where the hell is Christopher Bell at? And Chris Buescher. So yeah, like I said, my projections all love Chris Buescher a lot, as do I. But it's going to be an interesting week. There's a lot of chalk. I think we're going to see a lot of the similar builds, and I think it's definitely worth moving off of those on Sunday, and just because, like we saw at Circuit of the Americas, Truex was like 45% owned and ended up finishing, he had negative points. Or did he finish that race? Finished 35th. He had negative 11 points. So, like I said, I don't expect many wrecks, but I do think there are a lot of great pivot options this week, and I think it should be a pretty good race. So that'll wrap it up. Be sure to check into the live on Sunday, Brandon Cruz's YouTube channel. You can just search him. We'll be on there. We'll be talking about DraftKings. We'll be answering your questions. Come with questions. We love debate, and it should be fun, yeah. So good luck this weekend at Sonoma. This is the final race for Fox, final real race for Fox. I'm not counting that horseshit all-star race format that's coming up. Like, I'm probably not even going to watch the damn thing. That's how ridiculous it is. But the last real race for Fox is this weekend, and then we get good old Rick Allen and NBC after that. And for all my new followers, just be prepared for a few rants on Mr. Rick Allen from me, because I really don't like that guy. But yeah, good luck at Sonoma. Hopefully we win a bunch of money. See ya.